that means. Emotional trauma release technique. You guys heard of that?
So this is also another work from Alex Gray, the bioenergetic representation of the body. This is, I have this in my office. So when you come in and have to explain, what is it that I'm doing from another chiropractor? I just point to this picture, say, look, we took the muscles away, but we have the blood vessels, we have the nerve system, which is in yellow, we have the meridian system, which is in white, we have the chakra system, we have the Kabbalistic worldly emanations, we have the aura around us, and we have the connection to everything else in the universe. So what is emotional trauma? It's an experience producing physical symptoms, pain, depression, anxiety in your body. The body often associates a traumatic event with an emotion or different emotions. Oftentimes the event is so severe that you remember the event as a defense mechanism, so your brain, it's called the reticular activating system, is now hypervigilant, so you never repeat that occurrence. That phenomenon is known as fixation of emotion. So Dr. Rika Gerhard Hammer discovered that not only cancer, but all diseases are triggered by unexpected shocks and traumas. Hammer proposed that cancer stems from emotional, psychic causes that remain unresolved over long periods of time. According to Dr. Hammer's observations, the body is able to heal itself of most cancers if the patient is given therapy and support for deprogramming and releasing the harmful effects of the shock conflict on their body. He has been prosecuted for these practices and these thoughts by many in the academic and traditional medicine. So let's talk for a minute about the inherited family trauma. So who remembers Romeo and Juliet? Okay, so we have these star-crossed lovers from two different families. What we don't know is, how did they come to feud? It's like who stole whose chicken, that caused the Montagues and Capulets to have this whole generational feud that was handed down and handed down and handed down. And then Shakespeare has this Romeo and Juliet. Hellinger observed that many of us unconsciously take on destructive familial patterns of anxiety, depression, anger, guilt, aloneness, alcoholism, etc. Bonded by a deep love, a child will often sacrifice his own best interest in vain attempt to ease the suffering of a parent or other family member. Who here has some of that experience in your life? Okay. I am the result of both my parents that went through the Holocaust. So there was this whole air of anxiety when I was growing up. And I didn't know that I was immersed in it. It's only after a lot of work I go, well, that's what that is. And once you acknowledge it, you can heal. So how long do these emotional issues last? Because now, let's say you were younger and you had to create some defense mechanisms to stay safe, but now 20 years later, you don't need those defense mechanisms anymore. But you don't know how to turn it off. And this is because emotions have no expiration date, unlike a carton of milk. It's as if the emotion has been affixed to a particular event, and it's forever in your memory banks whenever that event or a similar event comes up, and it'll trigger that original event. So we have to get back to the original trigger to really release it. PTSD mothers have children with a higher sympathetic activating system. So what this means is, this is another example where that if a mother was traumatized, more so the mother than the father, if the mother was traumatized, shows the results demonstrate that children of mothers who themselves have a history of childhood physical and emotional abuse have higher dark enhanced startle as well as sympathetic nervous system activation as compared to children of mothers who do not have a reported history of childhood physical and emotional abuse. So what that means is the mothers of who had PTSD are more excited, and they get triggered easier. And that triggering, that hyperexcitability that we possibly call ADHD now is handed down to their children. It is so important that the mother, especially at conception and through the pregnancy, is really nurtured in a safe mode, because if not, chances are their children will come up and just get triggered faster. So the emotional trauma release technique was developed in 2002 to effectively address these fixations of emotion. The end product is a more neurologically integrated and healthier person. Emotional trauma release technique is a natural healing procedure that disconnects your behavioral reaction from a traumatic event. Okay, so who's got something that they want cleared up? Okay, what do you have? Come on up. Who are you and how can we help?
My name's Ann Heiser.
Ann Heiser, ladies and gentlemen.
And on the 26th of June, I broke my tibia because I stepped back on it. And when I came back on, put weight on it, it felt like it was like that.
Okay, wow.
So let me have the cameraman, I want you to focus on her face. I'm going to see if I can get her a little bit younger during this brief session.
Wow.
Going to relax her face. So look right at the camera there. Zoom in on that.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, I got her.
Good, and I want you to cover one eye. Good, and look right at the camera.
Uh-huh.
Good, and then cover the other eye. This is an example of a muscle test. That's nice and strong. And the other arm. Pushing up. Fantastic. Good. Here we go. Push up. So here's how I check your body's biocomputer. That's 4 main reflexes. One's the third eye. Hold strong. Good. And if you touch the third eye, you should actually make a strong muscle weak. In this case, reflex. And hold again. Good. Up. This one's weak. That's a heart shock. I'm going to reset that for you. Take a breath in. Yeah. Looking up. Great. Okay, good. So let's see. Hold strong. Yeah. So does it feel completely good now? Or?
Yeah.
Let me have you lie on your back. Head here, feet there. So what I want to do now is I'm going to check the major muscles that go to the knee. So hold this leg up. Good. Push against my hand. Good. Push up towards the ceiling. Little weight right there. Which knee is it? This one?
Yeah.
Okay. Then this leg. Push that one. Push up towards the ceiling. This one's a little stronger. Push up towards the ceiling. So that muscle's weak.
Yeah.
So that's, see, her psoas muscle is turned off. Push out towards this wall. Good. And push out towards the other wall. Again. That's all right.
I still feel it when you do
All right, push up towards the ceiling. Most of your muscles are pretty good. All right, bend this leg. Hold. Push. Push up. Good. Now bend your knee. Hold.
Oh.
So her hamstring is turned off on the right. Hold again to it.
Ah.
Nothing there.
Uh-huh.
Bend this leg.
The hamstrings are turning.
So hamstrings are turned off. So we found some pretty big imbalances in the body. So let me ask you this. If I go like this, does it feel better or worse if I push your hips together?
Better.
Better. Huge. This is huge. Because a lot of times she actually has some low back instability that I believe is probably turning off her knees. So we're going to test that theory. And this leg, just make sure
Yeah.
it's weak. I'm putting a Band-Aid across her hips. Strap it down. Feels a little easier.
Yeah.
So good. So it's holding things together. And bend this leg again. Power's on. Okay.
Still feels like it's.
So she's got power now.
Wow.
Okay, boom. Just by stabilizing the pelvis, the hamstring muscles are able to power on. Loosen that up. Bend his leg. Nothing there. Okay, so I found out what the major shifts, and what gave it away for me is both hamstrings were weak, not just one. One was weak, then I'll look at some other places where both are weak. Boom, we go get her a belt. And just by doing that, that's great. But just like those amazing commercials, I just don't stop there. I want to balance all the muscles.
There's more.
There's
Yeah, that's the more.
Hold this leg up. The whole thing. We already fixed the hamstring. Give me the glute max. Push up towards the ceiling. Solid. And this leg. Solid. Hold on. This leg.
Yeah.
No, 80%. 90%. Hold this leg up. Hold the leg up. No, this one.
No, Tara.
Breath in. Hold this leg up. Push up towards the ceiling. Okay. Put your finger right here. Push deep. Push up. There it is. See how it powers on? Yeah, she's like, can't believe it happened so fast. So it's just a matter of knowing where the short circuits are. Breath in. Tender. They tend to be real tender whenever I find them. I've never had someone like laugh, saying, oh, that tickles. All right, then this leg. Push up towards the ceiling. That's better. All right, this leg, push up. Turn his foot, bring his foot up, push up. Up and out. Powers on. That's much better. That's powered on nicely. I think this time will go right. Push up. All right, come on up. Let's see how, look at the camera and look at the audience. Does she look different than the other arm?
All right.
Very good. Thank you. All right. So that's an example more of chiropractic magic. But we're working on knees. On this, she has an emotion in the knees. So
it could be too. My mom died, and then my knee exploded. They drained it and found out it had gram-negative bacteria.
Oh. Okay.
And so this knee, I can bend all the way. This knee, that's it. It just stops.
So we have, okay, have a look.
So I don't know if it's emotional or what.
It could be a combination.
Yeah.
It could be a combination of things. All right, good. And push up towards the ceiling. Ready? You failed the second test. This means you're dehydrated. So, the magic I do is push up. So this knee energetically feels fine. This knee does not. So you go weak, see how you're losing the power? That knee does not. And the question is why?
That's the hero leg. This one's the healing one, because this one's had to support this one.
Okay, that could be. Right. So, all right. So, actually, before I start doing this, put a number of pain or discomfort on as you're standing here with that knee whenever you twist it. And let's use this chart.
It's not so painful, it's just more uncomfortable because
Okay, so that's a 4. Uncomfortable is a 4.
Yeah.
Okay, so can you do this or that would hurt? You could do that. Okay, so but it feels stiff?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see if we can release some of that stiffness then. All right, pushing up. Okay, and keep it breath in. Exhale. Again. Nice close. Good. Hold his arm up, pushing up. Just feel
okay.
a little easy.
Yeah.
How long did that take? 8 seconds? Good.
Right.
That's an example. You should come to the booth because I have to check all the different muscles of your leg.
That would be great.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, thank you. All right, so, good. I think I'm a little bit over time. Thank you, everybody. And come to the booth if you want to get some healing.
No big deal. Yeah. And I went and sat down, and I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, I'm just tearing up. I got really emotional, and I'm like, okay, this is really weird. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Did you do something to me on an emotional level? Because I am just so weepy. But of course somebody else was talking, so I couldn't really.
Yeah. Okay. So then you were like sort of weeping, or you were emoting for 2 hours. You said like a couple hours
easily.
after I brought you on stage and did my little reset button. Hit the reset button, and then after you did that weeping, then your knee stiffness improved.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's no stiffness there at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like it's almost all gone then.
Yeah.
That's it.
So I'm assuming it was more of an emotional issue rather than just completely physical.
Yeah. Okay. So now your knees feel a lot better. Your knee. Awesome.
So we got to work on it. Let's have you on your back.
Andrew loves to laugh. Italian.
I found the spots. Fixing a shoulder. How long has it been hurting?
The right one?
Yeah, the right one. 4 months. Almost walking something to a frozen shoulder condition. Ah, it's where these muscles are. Ah, you got right up here now. You know why? Because I'm asking your body. And your body's giving me the combination lock to unlock you. So like that has to go first, and this has to go second. And I don't know how many more I gotta do, but I'm gonna keep going until I find all of it. And then we'll have power control. Okay, pushing up this way. That way. Okay, good. Just be gentle with it. So that's where the lock happens. Pushing up. Pushing up. Do it again. Breath in.